keeping an eye on the weather, which there's some recipe today for some severe weather to happen or not.
Yeah, the recipe is definitely there. Now it's just a matter of timing. So we have a few hours left of some daylight, a possibility of continuing with the surface heating, but we need bigger breaks in between clouds. And we're seeing that in some locations, that being right here along the coast. This is Seaside. Now you can see some darker clouds off in the distance, just past Tillamook Head. But then off to your right, there's a nice break in those clouds. And also the opportunity to heat up the surface just a bit. So what's happening for us? Well, there are two opportunities to see thunderstorms. First, starting with where we are right now, and then again late tonight. Tomorrow, another chance to see thunderstorms, and then a pretty dry weekend ahead. Here's a look at Mount Hood Meadows. Now, of course, while we're getting all this rain down here, your freezing level is at approximately 5,200 feet, so this is where we're seeing the snow, and you can see those tree branches are just heavy with snow. So we'll continue with that snow overnight tonight and again tomorrow, but for the weekend, it's looking pretty good to head up to the mountains. Here's our view right now from a river view camera. This is in Vancouver, looking across the way over towards Portland and the West Hills in the distance, and you can see those darker bands of clouds. That means heavier showers on the way. What's your temperature right now? It's 52. Wind is out of the southeast at 13. Temperatures tonight, low 50s, upper 40s just before we approach midnight. So again, the next chance to see that second wave coming through is going to be closer to midnight tonight. So this is where we are right now, watching this latest area of low pressure spinning offshore, initially impacting mostly western Washington. The second round, though, coming through in those overnight hours, that'll be our cold front showing up. And so it's with that cold front we could see more instability even overnight and another chance to see thunderstorms. Here's our big trough that's set up right over the Pacific and draping across the Pacific Northwest. Look at what happens as soon as that trough moves out of the picture. That leads us into Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. There's that big ridge taking over, and that's going to allow us to have some clear weather and finally a break from the rain. But right behind that, we have another trough trying to set up there in the Gulf of Alaska. So we'll watch that carefully, perhaps arriving by the time we get to next Monday. In the meantime, looking at radar right now, we're seeing those heavier bands of showers showing up on the west side of I-5. Again, all this motion is basically coming from the southwest, moving towards the north-northeast. So we're seeing those heavier bands of rain lining up right over I-5 in Vancouver. And again, just outside of Portland. We're in the clear right now, but a few more isolated showers popping up right over Oregon City as we speak. Looking at the big picture, though, we can see some of the worst of it is, again, right along the Washington coastline just north of Hoquiam. So that's where the more severe weather may be popping up just offshore there. We'll have to watch that carefully. Noticing from Astoria south, what's popping up on radar is very little at this point, but the opportunity is certainly there for more thunderstorms popping up for us tonight, and that'll be closer to about midnight from the coast all the way up to I-5. By the time we hit tomorrow afternoon, another chance for some thunderstorms. But then as soon as we get to Friday, everything a little bit more mundane. We get that afternoon rain coming in, and then as soon as we hit the weekend, there's your ridge of high pressure, and we're getting a break from the rain at least for 2 days in a row. So what does that look like for our temperatures? Well, for tomorrow, we're going to be in the mid-50s. By Friday, we're up to 60. Again, weekend, partly cloudy, low to mid-60s expected. And then we're back to rainy and cooler weather next Tuesday and Wednesday in the mid-50s.
Just concentrating on Saturday and Sunday. I'm locked in.
Locked in, yes.
Okay, thanks, Natasha.